Here we go. Welcome, everybody. This is Snoo. Oh my. You knew it was coming. Had to do it. Maximum investment. We're doing a perception versus reality video today. Very excited to bring you this. I have since upgraded my farm from Gilded Solo, Ghosting, Gilded, Scarabs, non-elevated, sextants, all the way up to maximum investment. I wanted to push the limit, and I have been pushing the limit, and, truth be told, when I make video like this, usually I don't have a rock solid understanding about how good it is or something. This is one of those rare cases where I've already been doing this for basically a week, and I'm here to blow the lid off on it, guys. If you're gonna do ghosting, solo ghosting, the way I'm doing it, it is actually the most lucrative when you push it all the way to maximum investment, which is very exciting in my opinion. But the main reason I haven't come out with this video up to this point is because I have a pretty high bar in my own performance of mapping. If I'm not meeting that bar, then I don't really want to make a video on it. This is pretty challenging stuff. It's pretty tough to do what I'm about to show you today. And if you're going to blow maximum investment and even brick maps occasionally, that really looks bad, and it's probably not going to go very well, and it's not going to speak very well for the efficacy of a farm. Basically reached a point where I've stopped bricking maps completely, at least if I'm being pretty restrictive on the regex that I'm using for all of these maps. I will post the regex in the description of the video. It is rather tight. I'm not running any sort of reflect, not running no regen, not running less recovery, not running elemental ailment avoidance in the monsters, not even running no block, because I'm using a weapon swap where I get life back on block. And when I'm unable to block, suddenly ghosting becomes a lot harder. But there are still a lot of mods I am willing to run, like less effective auras, like no leech. There are some hard ones that I can still run pretty well. But anyway, this is it. We got 100 maps for you today. All elevated except for the Delirium Mirror, which literally doesn't matter, so why waste money on the elevated version of that? Let's get into the farm. We'll just start it up here. We got, let's see. Well, we got some currency here to make up for putting Ambush on the map device. You could put Torment on, but I think, first of all, if I'm gonna go all the way to elevated Strongbox and Rage, I feel pretty bad not selecting Ambush on the map device. Second of all, going for, let's see, how many is it? 12 additional Torment Spirits. That's kind of enough. Honestly, it's kind of enough for what I want to accomplish here. So I am going to go with Ambush on the map device. Also, you can get extra strong boxes, possibly even get the Ghost Unique Strong Box, which puts a bunch of extra ghosts on the map. Can serve really well. Whether ghosting is better than strong boxes, I feel like they're almost tied in terms of value. So essentially, we're getting almost twice as much value out of the maps as far as magic finding, cranking up the investment on this. That's what ghosting can get you if you take it all the way. So we're going to be running elevated corrupt rare strongbox, elevated enraged strongbox. We'll be running elevated beyond even. Now this is probably the weakest thing I'm investing in terms of value assessment. A non-elevated beyond is quite a bit cheaper, and it's 25% increase beyond pack size. So if I were to drop the investment in any way, shape, or form, it's here. But you know what? I still feel like this is probably worth it, especially if I'm going quadruple winged Scarabs. And the last one is going to be Delirium. Now, I was running magic pack size compass for a long time, and then attempting to force or not force, but have a random chance, like a 50% chance to spawn Delirium. That was getting less results. It was just getting less results across the board, because Delirium does have a pretty impactful, or a pretty big impact on these maps. We'll explain in just a moment when we look at the Atlas. The Scarabs are going to be Winged Torment, Winged Ambush, Winged Reliquary, and Winged Divination. A lot of people doing ghosting aren't really messing with Winged Reliquary, or Winged Reliquary, Winged Ambush. So yeah, the two that are the most valuable here, if you were to try and kind of like incrementally move up into Winged, I would suggest Divination and Torment. And then, yeah, you probably wouldn't be using elevated on this sextant anyway, because it's like a 9 or 10 divine compass here. Yeah, we're just going to be absolutely flooded with loot. A very tight loot filter also in the description below. But I mean, we're just going to be seeing like loot fly out right and left. So many uniques, a crazy number of unique leather and heavy belt. I've already seen a ton of T0 uniques. I've not yet actually seen a Headhunter or Mageblood, but I've seen 2 Rings of Calandra, 2 Kingmakers, and a whole bunch of other, garbage tier 0s that aren't very good, and a ton of T1s as well. So while a lot of people have kind of put uniques farming on the back burner at this point in the league, I still think in the long run, if you're doing it all the way with this, you're gonna actually drop some really, really valuable things. There's still things like Dialis, Malefaction, and Unnatural Instinct, a few other big hits that are actually worth a lot. All right, and then we got all the maps, so that will conclude all of the compasses and the map, or the Scarabs. I almost forgot. So sometimes your maps actually roll beyond. So I have 20 maps here that naturally roll beyond, in which case I will substitute out the magic pack size compass in that case. So I have an additional 4 uses here of all elevated. So yeah, if I have beyond on the map, I will go ahead and run the magic pack size. That feels pretty good. As far as the Atlas, here it is. Now, this has been a major work in progress. I've tried out all kinds of different things here. Of course, I'm going to put all the points into the ghosting. Actually, not all of them. Don't have points in additional duration here. But yeah, these points here, and of course, Speaker of the Dead. And then, yeah, Strongbox points. But ironically, actually move points out of Arcanist and Divination Strongbox. I feel like if you're juicing up at this point, these actually become almost irrelevant. Like, I'll be getting more value out of points if I just increase the chance for random things to spawn on the map. Especially, like Legion, for example, which is one of the things I'm trying to push to spawn randomly on the map. All plus Legion chance points taken, except for this one down here, very far out of the way. Expedition's a big winner this league because of Extreme Archaeology. All Expedition increased spawn chance are taken, except for these 2, which you have to waste 2 to get to. Trying to be very efficient with the points here. And then what's very unique here is Ritual. Actually running Ritual. I really like Ritual this league for this. It can be actually really fast if you just take the increased Ritual intensity with Wandering Path. And then I don't really care about the rewards. I will check it, of course, because I am doing them. I don't really feel like Ritual is worth doing, the actual Ritual, unless you're doing Winged Scarabs, because typically just doesn't drop any loot. Not much. But for one thing, Ritual increases the Beyond mob spawn. So Ritual essentially gives you free Beyond that spawns throughout the Ritual, and those mobs, of course, do drop some loot. And it also can sometimes spawn the Ghost Rituals, which are extremely impactful. When you spawn the Ghost Ritual, that's a specific type of ritual. It's, I don't know, it's like a 1 in 10 chance or something like that when you roll rituals on the map. And it will spawn like 5 to 10 ghosts in each ritual, which then can be in turn ghosting up regular monsters in the map, like Strongbox monsters, for example. So that's why I really like Ritual, for those aforementioned reasons, even going all the way down here, taking every single Ritual increase spawn chance, which happens to roll higher, by the way, at 10%, not 8%, except for this point here, which is a little bit out of the way. Okay, and then, of course, taking Beyond. All the Beyond points. Beyond, of course, has been kind of the black sheep league mechanic lately after it was nerfed, back in Sentinel League, or Calandra League. However, this league, we got a new Keystone, Endless Tide, immensely beneficial, allowing our Beyond to roll over. Also, it got even more, I think, merging radius and things like that. Beyond is extremely rippy, feels even more rippy this league than usual for some reason. And you have to have very strong characters. One of the main reasons why I have been bricking some maps up to this point, mainly because of Beyond. But if I don't run Beyond, I typically end up with something like 20% less loot across the board, and that includes Divination cards, and it's even more so on uniques and conversion loot, which, if I'm going to use a Reliquary Scarab, I really, really, really want to have Beyond on there, because I do spawn tons of rares and magic mobs that do drop a lot of unique items. Conversion loot's going to play a big factor in my reason for going Winged Reliquary. I had a conversion earlier this league that resulted in 20 Winged Scarabs, so just think about that. Now that's an outlier, obviously. But who knows? In 100 maps, we might see something crazy here. We're going to be going 7th Gate to get ambush on the map device, so everything here. So yeah, pretty efficient point allocation here, trying to randomly spawn Legion, Ritual, and Expedition. Sorry, Expedition. With Beyond, the Torment, and Strongbox, playing an integral role in there, taking all that. And of course the top row for all the additional juice here in the quant and rarity and everything there. So that is the Atlas. Highly, highly recommend this Atlas, whether you're doing Gilded or Winged, except for one thing. Now, normally I do, or up to this point, I have been putting, 1, 2, 3, or 4 points into Torment Spirit Duration, so it costs a few points to get over there. When you're first starting out on this and you're trying to figure out the ghosting thing, you absolutely should take, honestly, all 3 of these points. Don't worry about the time. Don't worry about the time at all. Get good at the ghosting thing first. The ghost can last a long time. Just get good practice and running through the map over and over and over and over, recycling through it until you get really good at it. Can't get ghosts to latch on you if you already have the same copy of the ghost. Eventually, if you do this enough, you'll get to a point where you recognize certain types of ghosts, and you'll know immediately before even testing it. If you already have that type of ghost, you'll also remember where the ghosts are. And this is like 2 or 3 weeks of practice for me. Gotten to a point where I've just become so efficient at it, I really don't even need a single point in here. Now, occasionally a ghost timer will run out if I don't have a single point. That's okay. It's also keeping me disciplined because I'm reaching a point now where time is a factor in my farm. I actually care about how long I take doing the ghosting thing. It certainly impacts the currency per hour. And it is a major complaint that a lot of people have on this type of farming. A pretty legitimate complaint. I think it's quite valid up to the point where you get really good at it. Once you get really good at it, that complaint kind of goes out the window because I can basically do the ghosting thing in about 2 minutes flat and get essentially twice as much loot in the map. You're not clearing maps in 4 minutes flat if you're not juicing them at all. I mean, if you're juicing them up like crazy, nobody's clearing a super juice map in 4 minutes flat. So that being the case, definitely worth doing. And I know a lot of people aren't going to want to hear that. A lot of people don't even like this type of farming. That's okay, More money for me. If you're not willing to invest into the winged scarabs, the more people that aren't willing to do this, the more people aren't willing to go all the way with it, the more people that aren't willing to invest in the winged scarabs, the cheaper the scarabs will remain. The cheaper the elevated sextants will remain, and the more currency those that are willing to invest in it will make. And that's an important lesson to take away. So let that be a little bit of a motivating factor as to enjoying getting good at it. I truly was quite frustrated with this style of farming for like the first first few days, maybe first week at the most. But it was just like anything else. After doing enough times, just like anything else, quite easy, and I can almost do it in my sleep at this point. Doesn't bother me at all, the whole process of it. So there it is. That is the intro. We're gonna put this currency back away, but real quick, and we'll go down here, and we'll check the investment cost. Already had it loaded up. I had to manually input a few things like the 4 uses down here. Also had to manually adjust the scarab prices. Scarabs are going for roughly 2 divines to 5 scarab ratio. I think that's 0.4 divines per scarab. I can just change them over by harvest juice if I need to. But here it is, 256 divine orbs. That is a lot of currency per map. 2.56 divines per map. 255.9 divines total investment. And we'll see what happens. Now, one very curious thing you might have is how many apothecaries should I get, or how often should I get an apothecary? That would be a great question. I am going to track gambler cards. It's probably the last time I'm going to track gambler cards for you guys on this one. Gambler to apothecary ratio is something like 1 to 600. Actually, I think it's less than 600 at this point, but I'm still going to say 1 to 600. So we'll figure out normalized currency earning for this farm at the end. But, well, I'll go ahead and kind of let the cat out of the bag. I should be finding at least 4 apothecaries in 100 maps. We'll just put that out there up the front. So we'll see how that shapes up in the results. And we'll see if I made any currency at all if we remove all the apothecaries, just in case I had a terrible string of bad luck. Because that would probably be pretty interesting for you as well. Now then, we're going to go back in and we're going to kick things off with the first map showcase. Here we go, loading it up. Gonna be a little bit extra careful putting these compasses in. Don't want to accidentally overwrite anything. Okay, there, we're good and ready. This build is a Hatred Physical to Element Conversion Tornado Shot build with Sublime Vision. It does not even feature a mirrored item, so that should be kind of interesting to you. I do not, in fact, have a mirrored weapon. I normally would at this point, and that is the next upgrade for me. However, there is about 3 mirrors worth of gear involved in here. A lot of, double, very expensive double corruptions, or maybe an infinite amount of currency if you count this belt corruption. I will be running Bisco's collar. I think it is superior choice for ghosting, because you can only ghost magic and normal monsters anyway. So you might think a 20% Eyes of the Great Wolf is better. By all means, you can test it, but I'm a big believer of this. And of course, it means you can get super good implicit corruptions, potentially. I have one with additional curse. I have this one as well as a potential. And then weapon swapping to Advancing Fortress, and a very nice shield for the ghosting with Defiance of Destiny, with a recoup anoint involved. I'm not going to talk about that much because I've made separate videos on it. That is how I was able to pull off ghosting, which you're going to see in just a moment. First map, here we go. Because we went 7th gate, all of the options unlocked. Ambush. If you run Alva, the ghost will spawn down in the incursion instead of on the top. That's really bad. Beast might be good, but I think it might waste some ghosting potential if you do that. So honestly, I'm just going to run with nothing, even on the extremely high end. Okay, right amulet in. This is a very methodical approach. We'll go ahead and do this map. I'll kind of talk about what I'm doing. Start with this on, and I have the Delirium Mirror spawn, but I'm not going to use it. When you spawn the Delirium Mirror, it bricks the ghosts that exist in there, so we have to do the ghosting ahead of time. Now, to do that, I usually just kind of run to the boss, actually. Pick up whatever ghost I can. Each ghost I pick up for a short time will allow me to ghost the other monsters. Will also give me a player power buff. And that is kind of nice. I can take that player power buff into the boss room and absolutely annihilate him, because I had a whole bunch of extra increased damage and attack speed there. Then I'm going to go out and ghost the monsters. Should I be ghosting normal monsters or magic monsters? Normally, it would be better to ghost magic monsters, but with Bisco's collar, normal monsters are kind of premium, aren't they? So, feel kind of good. Oh my gosh, I can't believe this. I see the random ritual spawn, and remember I was talking about the ghost ritual? So this is going to be a little bit of a longer map than normal. I was going to kind of show you how fast these maps run, but this is the special map that happened to spawn the ghost ritual. And I spawned a June mission randomly. That's not really what I want either. You can see that normal monsters are dying. I actually spawned the influence just by killing things with shield charge, of all things. Spawned a little earlier than I wanted to. It makes kind of the ghosting a little bit hard and tricky to do. If I have too many ghosts in too short a time, I will ghost some strong boxes, but I think ghosting the regular monsters on the map is better because of how Delirium hidden multipliers work. Yes, Delirium gives you increased quantity, rarity multipliers, and drops only, insofar as we know, only monsters that are natively spawned on the map. So that's important. I also think it's good to go ahead and recycle through, check the ghost one last time real quick, while also unlocking the Eldritch Minion spawns, because it's a known fact that, oh, there's a ghost there. It can be a little hard to get to, and the timer might run out. Still die occasionally in the ghosting process, but not that often anymore. I'm going to try to get this guy here. I think he disappeared. He probably... I thought I saw him dive, but I guess he disappeared. Okay. Important to kind of keep Progenesis up. I probably died because I let Progenesis fall off, for one thing. Okay, and now this is another phase of the map. We're going to start Delirium. Got a lot of things ghosted. Pretty good so far. Not too much time wasted. You can kind of take a short break here with the expedition, and I like to go ahead and kind of full clear this area because I'm going to put the dynamite down. Wherever the best spot is, doesn't look very good. I'm just kind of randomly put it here. Make sure it's not like all 3 elements immune. Something crazy like that. Now, I will still shield charge through. You can see I'm able to get Fortify, even have 20 Fortify at the moment. Just shield charging a few mobs. This is the advantage to having a very high armor or evasion-based shield and doing the weapon swap tech that I talked about. Makes me way, way more tanky than I normally am. Sometimes it doesn't work out so well, but often it does and allows me to move faster. It works great at the end of the map when I'm just kind of running through and making sure it's done, fully cleared. But right now, the goal isn't even to kill the Beyond mobs. The goal is to unlock altars and try not to die and kill as much delirium as I can and all the native monsters on the map. So there should be a lot of loot coming out, because these are ghosted, normal magic monsters native to the map, getting a whole bunch of extra quantity multipliers, and might actually be more valuable than enraged strongbox monsters at the end of the day when you set it up this way. Okay, that's basically it there. Now the next thing is to just strongboxes. Okay, I got one altar. It wasn't that good, but now we're opening strongboxes. Gonna see a lot of gamblers coming out of these as well. And then lightened support. Okay, that's a little bit random. Just pure quantity drop there. Reopening of strong boxes going to happen a lot. I go ahead and I loot, actually. I loot at this point. I feel like it's good to loot because I can kind of focus killing the Beyond mobs and clearing out the strong boxes. I go up and down the line here to try and save myself time, because sometimes it gets confusing. Where the heck have I been? Where have I not been? So I go up and down the middle. I first prioritize the middle, usually. I really, really don't want to leave a strong box on the map when farming this way. Okay, that's the expedition. We'll wait a minute here on that. Yeah, Raw Divine, okay. Not that uncommon at all. I think I'll go ahead and do this breach. I'm going to go up one of the wings. Alright, here's the Ghost Strongbox. It's one reason why I don't choose the Arcanist and Divination Strongboxes. After you kill the monsters, kill the Delirium monsters, you get all of the Ghosts. All the Ghosts. Okay, that's some nice ghosting there. I also threw up this whole thing here. And that is basically six strong boxes worth of ghost. Power here. Let's see what the drops are. Definitely a little bit above average. Now the quantity and rarity multipliers from ghosting is additive with the quant multiplier from strong boxes. So there's no major advantage to ghosting strong box monsters other than, you know, if you need to get some ghosting out of the way because there's too many ghosts, not enough monsters, well then it's obviously worth doing it because you don't want to waste it. But otherwise, I believe it's smarter to ghost up the native monsters of the map, because that is getting a categorical bonus of the delirium, hidden delirium multiplier quantity and rarity on delirium. You can look that up on PoE Wiki if you don't know what I'm talking about. There's not a great deal of definitive data out on that, but it is a well-known fact that monsters that spawn when you open the map are included in that multiplier. So that's why I ghost those monsters that spawn on the map above all others. Or try to, anyway. Okay, this time I'll actually be smart and do the Legion. And then do the Expedition. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Take all that juice. How much quant do ghosts? The assumption is somewhere around 800% quant and 400% rarity. That was some testing done a long time ago. It could be a little outdated, but presumably it's more beneficial than just Enraged Strongbox. Alright, so 11 stolen buffs. Come down here, just absolutely mop the floor with this expedition. Except I'm not really mopping the floor with it, am I? They got too much block. There's a decent chance, because I did the Legion before this like that I didn't die on the expedition, whereas I would have died otherwise. Like there's a pretty high chance that's the case. After having done this so many times, the expedition can be really brutal with that big bomb on this kind of juice. Or over regular. If they go strongbox monsters over Beyond monsters, for example, I think that would actually make a difference, but otherwise, no. So I love unlocking the influence ahead of time, off screening. Immediately get unlock altars that are off the screen, get much higher altar uptime because of that. It's our first 7 years. Map 3. Okay. We'll be seeing a lot of those. A lot of those today. Duplicated Divine. Just hit the basic currency altar too. Nice. Actually, I got real good altars this map. Or, you know, more than one. I think the first 2 maps only got 1 altar each. Pretty unlucky. And, you know, identifying, scouring, chiseling, making rare, Val orbing, and gonna do that like thousands of times. Yes, I know about that. I've done that before. And, no. I mean, maybe it'd be worth it for the showcase. You know, if I wanted to like showcase the absolute best maps, but this is just how I kind of do stuff. This is how I roll, guys. That's how I roll. All right. I'm so glad I cleared the altars first. Well, actually, that dropped from a ghosted mob anyway, so it didn't make any difference. Not even from a Strongbox mob. Not even from Strongbox mob. No way. You guys realize that's the 3rd time this league I've duped an apothecary. The 3rd time. I've already done it twice this league. 3rd time. It's not even special anymore. I want to drop a raw mage blood. That's what I want to drop. It's obviously much, much more rare. Maybe like 1 in 20 of those altars, the immortal will come out though. Hi, sir. Duped apothecary. Yep, you better believe it. Duped Appo's how I roll. 3rd time this league. Duped Viridian Jewel. Man, it's been a while. It has been a while since. Oh my god. Well, thanks for the duped calm spirit though. A little bit let down there. Let's see, conversion. Yum. Divine Orb and Apothecary. Oh my god, I think... Oh, I don't know if I can see the replay. That might be the first Apothecary I've ever seen off of a Beyond mob. That was probably a Beyond mob, because, I mean, nothing else is going to be alive, really, except trailing mobs like that. I'm going to have to watch the VOD on that. I want to see. Alright, new goal. I'm going to get more Apothecaries in 7 years. Just to make everybody mad. That's my new goal. I hope it happens. Wish me luck. I don't know what's up with this 7 years drop rate. Sometimes you just can't get lucky. Yeah. Just unlucky with 7 years, I guess. Unlucky. One way or another. Actually, I think it was off of Beyond Mob again. Ankirama has subscribed. Thank you. Trying to rub off some of that streamer RNG onto yourself? Is that what you're doing? Is that what you're doing? Oh! So close! Off the frickin' ritual. Log in. Do ritual, man. Duped for hitting ritual. Duped uniques off the ritual mob. Actually, I got a duped, what was it? Aegis Aurora that way once. I've had duped Viridians twice now. Still not got the unnatural. Ah. Pittiplash, definitely a believer in the streamer rubbing off. Subscribe, alright. Oh, wait, why am I dead? Why am I dead? You just die standing next to a ritual altar just because? God. Just got a tier 0, guys. First tier 0 of the session. I don't know if you guys caught that. Definitely yoinked that one in the middle of fighting this wildly strong expedition. I wasn't gonna mess around with that. I only got like 3 portals left too, so crazy amount of double corrupted mage bloods that everybody can have their picking, but you just said there's none on the none on trade. Alright, that's our first at least halfway decent Scarab explosion, but hoping for better. The winged. I got the quantity, but where's the winged? Exalted orb right next to it. Just to tease me. Buy everything? I don't want to buy everything. Oh god. Mob came over here. Ooh. They just... little scarabs trickling in a lot here, guys. I love doing this. Get like 10 plus inspired learning buffs. Come over here and just obliterate the frickin' expedition. Go ham. Divine orb. Nice. There it is. Dupe 7 years. Finally, that divination dupe paying off. Alexi subscribed. Hey, thanks, buddy. Oh, 7 years. Only one? But I have a greater than 50% chance to dupe. That means I'm unlucky. Unlucky. Oh no. Wait, can I do this at the same time? Is that gonna be okay? Should be, right? Duped gambler from the ritual. See, I think I'll just put a... Wait, why can't I... Oh, dude. There we go. I'm just gonna juice myself. Haha! So much speed. This is exactly my setup back in the day. I should actually anoint my rings for this. I didn't even think of that. I should just anoint my rings for it. So I get even more action speed. Oh my god. Shikari touched Blight Mob. Wow, Dragon Fang from the Blight. Duped Dragon Fang from the... What? Yeah, unique dupes. Oh my goodness. Blight log in. Whoa. Whoa. What's the blocked one? I think problem with it is it requires a strength node. I don't even have a single strength node allocated. There is one, just one away, though. Hey, actual currency conversion. Oh my god. Now, does it require what does it require? Does it require strength node? Because that's the issue there. You would think the 7 years dropped with from the same mob. No. Int? Okay. Oh yeah, a little bit of a problem there too, because I'm using that for the rational doctrine. I can work around that, I guess. 50%. Up basically 100% of the time. You can see it on my buff bar, thanks to rational doctrine. Another 20% on... Shit, what was it? I can't remember what it was. I think the... Oh, Inspired Learning. The Nurse? Okay. Nice little bonus from the Diviner Strongbox. Kind of expect to see something like that in 100 maps. Is Bisco's better than 20% quant? Kind of depends on your priorities. Mine is for... oh shit, I got the Strongbox for the Ghost. A little late on this. Okay. That's okay. I think I can manage this. I think it is. But it depends a little bit on... Like, if you're ghosting... The only way it is if you're ghosting, more than likely. Sucked, I misclicked that middle one. You know I was gonna get myself killed trying to do that. Oh well. I got most of those mobs ghosted. This is it. This is for the apothecary right here. So many gamblers. Crimson Jewel. Oh! Ghosting wins the day! The 100th map on the last set of strongboxes. The Ghost Strongbox. Best in slot. Best in slot going. That's why you choose Ambush over Torment. You can get the Ghosted Strongbox and ghost a bunch of extra monsters. Oh my god. Oh, that is just... It's cherry on top there, man. Wow. Oh yeah. Yeah, that is. Man, I saw those gamblers flying out. I was like, oh, come on, come on, come on, come on. 4 apothecaries in 100 maps. But I'm actually supposed to get that many. That's a funny thing. I'm going to assume we're ready to go. This is the results of 100 maps maximum investment. I know you guys really want to see this. I was able to squeeze everything in 4 major quad tabs, barely. Had to stop picking up full stacks of alteration orbs to do that. So you can see I got a little bit of a fun gambling session to waiting in store. A whole bunch of things to Val in a minute, but we'll get to that in a moment. Right now we're going to do the results. You can see way more uniques than you would normally see if you weren't using Reliquary Scarab, that's for sure. You can see some Scarabs involved in there and a crap ton of gambler cards also. Let's go down to what page here? Here it is. Already loaded with a lovely apothecary on map number 100 to save the day. I'm looking at 117,546 chaos. So let's see exactly what that is. 230. Still 230. Well, that's been 230 to 1 forever now. All right, gross 511.07. Woo. And then we're going to take this minus 250. 55.9. Well, that's weird. Almost exactly doubled my earnings, I guess. Yeah, that's weirdly close. Net profit 255 divines. And let's go ahead and see. I guess we'll go ahead and get the numbers out of the way first. So divided per map, of course, is almost the same as the investment costs. 2.55 divines per map. And this, of course, took a little bit longer than a lot of my farms because of the ghosting and everything. I took about 13 hours in total time to do all of this, which put my earnings around 19.63 divines. And we're going to look at the normalized rate as well, because you can probably guess, or I bet many of you would guess, that I was not supposed to find 4 apothecaries in 100 maps. But lo and behold, that is almost exactly how many apothecaries I was supposed to find. And I can prove it right here. If we go down here to the gambler rate, 2,557 gamblers were looted. I've been using this metric to track how many apothecaries I should get in any farm. And for this one, it appears I should have gotten around 4.25 apothecaries per 100 maps. So to see a normalized rate, which is apparently going to be a little higher in this case, I take this number times whatever the apothecary is worth, which is around 70. Okay, and then, you know, that's how many apothecaries I should have gotten. Now I could take it minus 280 because that's how many apothecaries I did get. And this is sort of bonus currency that I would see on average. And so we'll just add that to the net. And then we'll divide that by 13. And this is slightly more normalized amount. So yeah, 21 divines, I guess. So I would average this. This is closer to the average for me doing this farm. What we'll also look at is what would have happened if I gotten 0 apothecaries. Now that's a bit of a stretch, you know. I mean, it's not that much of a stretch to imagine yourself getting 0 apothecaries, doing 100 maps of a gilded farm, you know, just kind of a speed farm thing. It's very easy to go 100 maps without an apothecary. It's a little bit harder to go 100 full maps without an apothecary when you're going this hard into each map, you know, to miss out on 4 full apothecary drops. But anyway, let's go ahead and see what would have happened. It's pretty obvious that I would have been negative in this case, because I'm going to take it divided by the value of 4 apothecaries. And this would have come out minus 24 divines in total. Still almost would have come even. But this is a little bit surprising to me because I have done some runs, you know, in this past week, and usually I don't even come out negative on this. Come out very close to 0, but not quite negative. So, you know, there are some fluctuations and some RNG involved in some of the other drops. The value of the apothecary has dropped as well, but that wouldn't be taken into account in this calculation. But anyway, yeah, finally actually doing a farm where I do, in fact, come out negative with no apothecaries. So expect that. This is definitely an apothecary farm. And you can see that evidenced by, if we scroll down here real quick, just look at this spread. Here's kind of some interesting information here. The vast majority of the currency that was earned in this strat is from cards, divination cards. Go figure. So that very much makes this a quantity-based farm, for sure, because divination cards are not affected by rarity, just quantity. Currency is up there too, pretty good, and uniques. Now, uniques are going to be the real RNG where that's out. When you drop a mage, if I dropped a mage blood, it would actually be higher than just the cards value, but it would take that kind of luck to make the uniques go higher. That doesn't really take into account like conversion loot and things twisting over into currency or scarabs or whatever. But anyway, fragments. That's an interesting one. I'm not even sure what fragments, all the fragments are, but maybe it's things like tomes and stuff. Not really sure off the top of my head where all that value in fragments is coming from. But scarabs, okay, so scarabs is another interesting one. All the Scarabs, virtually all the Scarabs that I got were from conversions, and you did see some highlights on some Scarab conversions, so that's where they came from. We got invitations, of course, then it just really drops off from there. You can see now, finally, PoE Stack is able to detect forbidden tomes, so I do not have to calculate them on the side. Here's another slightly interesting one. So for not putting on the Delirium Keystone, I was able to come out with 3.4 divines ahead. And I can assure you, if anything is being undervalued in terms of bulk versus individual, it's this. You can go on TFT and bulk sell Delirium Orbs for like 130% of their value, so it's actually higher than that. It's a few blueprints, a few logbooks. Then yeah. No lucky clusters. Could very easily see a jackpot cluster, but did not see that at all. Okay. Oh yeah, almost forgot to mention. A Squire was involved in the unique. So that is a semi-jackpot. I also got, like, how many of these did I get? 3 Eyes of the Great Wolf as well, that were all basically trash, unfortunately. But yeah, let's go ahead and kind of scroll through here just to see what all the things are. The 28 divines. Let's see, Exalt. I did get an Exalt altar, so maybe that's not terribly unlucky. This is, of course, more divines than I usually find in 100 maps on any farm, but I think that's because of ghosted mobs, why that's going to be a little bit higher. So I guess that looks about right. I'm curious if you think 28 divines in 100 maps is about accurate or not. 18 Heat Shivers, 71 Ventors, 21 Tainted Fusings, 33 Tomes. Let's see, a few Winged Divination, 3 Simulacrums. Would also, they would be fragments, of course, so that would not be included if you were using the Keystone. Let's see, 14 Asena's Gentle Touch, 13 Yokes of Suffering. So, I mean, yeah, 3 Lionized Falls. So you can see there's some serious potential for some uniques to drop. Now, most uniques are not worth that much anymore, but we still have some really high value ones. And look at this, a poor Aegis Aurora too. Very cheap nowadays. But there are still some uniques that are worth something. And of course, if you're going to use the Winged Reliquary, you're essentially chasing the raw Mage Blood Raw Headhunter drop. I know numerous people this league who have gotten a raw drop of that. I myself have gotten 2 Calandra rings rather. So that's as juicy as my loot has been this league as far as uniques. Not the greatest, considering how much Reliquary Scarabs I've used so far. But here's the rest of everything. And that's going to close out where we're at there. Okay. Now then. 25.6 gamblers per map. Should have mentioned that. And that's where we're arriving at how many apothecaries per map. I should be getting roughly 1 apothecary every 23 maps with how I performed. I did semi-brick 2 maps. So that would have hurt me just a little bit. Not much, though. So yeah, there's all the data for you. I think that'll do it for that. And let's go ahead and get a gambling session ready. Gonna be quite an interesting one. I'm not sure how many stacked decks I got, but I sure got a lot of things to use the Valor on. Be right back with the gambling. Oh yeah, also the Dragon Fangs. Gotta ID them. And 3-1 them. And 3-1 the Ventors. What is this worth? Okay, it's worth like 1 divine. I just about saved him. Saved this session. Oh god, I got a gambler. Not that great. I didn't come out very much behind. Alright, so we got something special for you guys. Major gamble session here. 1 entire quad tab full of uniques to Valorb. And more. 12 replica Dragon Fangs to ID. 5 level 3 Enlightened supports and 3 Xervi's Heart to Valorb. And then 4 Voidbone Reliquary keys to do. Cleaned up most everything else. I've already 3-1 the Ventors. Quick update on the result. I was actually made a mistake. I finished the session with 4 maps remaining. And forgot to enable the tab affinities. Divinations were fine, but currency and fragments got deposited in the wrong place, including 2 divine orbs, probably a lot of awakened sextant, delirium orbs, a few other things in the last 4 maps. Definitely a value of at least like 3 divines there, and also 2 enlightened supports were not counted. I realized afterwards. I got a couple of level 1 enlightened supports that were not tallied in PoE stack whatsoever, so that's like another 3 divines value. So kind of missing around 6 divines or so in the final results that were there but not tabulated. So I'll kind of fix that on the back end a little bit, I guess. Now then. No, that's not going to be enough Val Orbs. We need more. Here we go. We're going to start with just corrupting everything, and then we'll go through the implicit. It's going to take a little bit. Sell it for default. Vulnerability. Sedemas. 10%. 50 chaos. Meganords? I don't know. Apparently these are worth something, though. Enfeeble on hit. Meganords. 1 divine. Okay. I don't even know what that item's for, to be honest. Ooh. Hmm? Is this right? Really? +2 Warcry Guthgul? Okay. +2 Curse. No. Oh, we got a hit. We got a hit. Oh yeah! 20 divines! Heat Shiver. There we go. Yeah, about 20 with the resist where they are. Regenerate? Probably not. Maybe though. Maybe it is worth something because of all the rage heads out there. +2 minion? Nah. Determination Biscos? No. Despair on hit calms. I know that's gotta be worth something. Really? Just 20? Maybe not. Maybe not. All res Biscos. Yeah, all res Biscos worth here we go. Maybe 1 divine most. Enfeeble on hit. Seen its gentle touch. Nope. Trick. Crit attack? No. Socketed AoE. Darasos. Yeah. Yeah, that's a little something. About half a divine. Anger Bisco? Not really. Oh, well, this is surely the GG item I was looking for right here. Oh my, we hit a % damage on the Inspired Learning. Actually not worth anything extra, though. Funny. Fire Song. Uh-oh. I hit too many, I think this might actually be worth a lot. I don't know. I've hit too many. Elapen Cosprey, that's worth something. I'm not sure. I bricked my... So another Heat Shiver. Another 17 to 20 divines. Whoa. What is happening? Oh my god. Reduced ignite duration? I don't know. Yeah, this might be worth a lot. I don't know. I can't check right now because I think skill effect duration Biscos. Nah, I'm locked out right now. Okay, so I just ID'd and 3 to 1 to all the dragon things. I corrupted all of this stuff here. Nothing came out good at all, unfortunately, but here we go. Identified a mortal call one, yeah. Oh, you mean I could 3 to 1 another one? We'll just forget about it. That's worth something. What is this? What is this? This is 6 divines. Amanamu's Gaze. This is actually the best result I've ever gotten out of a reliquary key. Actually made money. Yeah, because it's like ghastly and green. It's the green ghastly one. That's perfect. Perfect. Maybe it's worth a lot. I don't know. Leather belt. Nope, we're just going to leave that in here. Never lucky. Yeah. Never lucky. I always sell these. Idiots buy them for like 2.8 divines a piece. What is this? Oh my god. That series reflection. 2 divines? Kinda made my money back. Bro, I'm getting rich. No, I'm like dead even right now, actually. I think if this is junk, I still lost money on it. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I feel blessed to not have lost all the money. Wow, okay. At least not complete garbage. Okay, so here they are, the major hits of the corruption. Big highlight, 2 heat shivers with cost and reservation. Multiplier, and wow. There we go. All right, now I will give you my final thoughts. So, I'm of the belief this style of gameplay is pretty challenging, but I think it is the most lucrative, especially as prices of the materials continue to rise, which they're likely to continue to rise. Not just like elevated compasses, but even unelevated and gilded, winged. All of it's probably expected to rise in the near future. But for me, I was getting somewhere around like 16 to 18 divines an hour, maybe with gilded, the best I could get, and then with all full investment, it was always somewhere around 20 or more. I'm talking about like normalized results. If I normalize the results for the apothecary card. And that just goes to show how impactful it is to get so many gambler cards, like over 20 gambler cards per map, and you get an apothecary relatively often when you see that many cards. So I am done tracking gambler cards for a while. Really tired of picking them up, but we did it one last time for science here. I will track them again if I try, another off the cuff strat, but I'll hereby announce that I'm planning to do 1,000 Crimson Temple maps this league. I figure it's a pretty good excuse to do it because of the ghosting thing, and still a lot of non-believers out there. A lot of people not sure. 100 maps, not good enough sample size. So 1,000 maps should do it, and just counting 7 years and the big cards should be enough for that. Also, I want to do it to kind of see how many tier 0 uniques I get. I've gotten quite a few tier 0 uniques, but definitely seeing more than usual this league. We did get a Squire this session. Still haven't gotten a Mageblood or a Headhunter this league yet, but it's pretty much bound to happen if I do 1,000 of those maps. So that's what's coming up in the near future. If you have any questions, I'm sure you probably will have some questions about ghosting or what have you. I'm still constantly testing out things, learning new things. Recently learned that the map mod buffs expire faster is actually favorable for ghosting because it makes the same copy ghost buff expire faster, but the touch debuff doesn't expire faster. It's really weird. So that's just one little nugget of info for you here at the end of the video. But that's where we're going to leave it. So, yeah, I got 21 to 22 divines an hour this time around. And I think it would remain pretty level, pretty stable around there because it's just, so many apothecaries in so few maps relative to a lower investment strat. Definitely expect it to be good. And then the jackpot unique drops, of course, we didn't really see anything massive this time. We saw Squire, but that was just kind of on the regular, I think. And then, of course, the enormous amount of added value from these mid-tier uniques and then corrupting them into something big is something a lot of you should be doing or should be thinking about, and perhaps should be weighing in when you're thinking about whether you use a Reliquary Scarab or not. I mean, this is a lot of extra currency I just got here. So, yeah, think about that. That's where I'll leave you. I'll see you in the next video. I will get ready mentally for 1,000 Crimson Temple maps again.